How's it going, Nottingham Forest TV? My name is Jack, and welcome to my preview for Nottingham Forest versus Manchester United, taking place at the City Ground. So yeah, Manchester United not having the best of seasons. I think most people can tell you that one. Not having the best of seasons, but I did have a look at them recent results before the international break, and it was 2 draws followed by 2 wins in the last 4 games. They've played against Sociedad and Arsenal, drawing both of those by one goal, by 1-1, by the scoreline of 1-1. There you go, in both games. And then they beat Sociedad in the second leg, and they beat Leicester 3-0 at the King Power. Rasmus Højlund got his goal, broke his goal drought, and somebody I work with who's a Man United fan made a valid point that last time when he broke his goal drought last season, he went on and scored a little bit of went on a scoring run after he broke his duck, so maybe that's something we're going to have to look out for. But yeah, Manchester United then. We beat them early on in the campaign, beat them 3-2 at Old Trafford, and then last season when they played against us at the City Ground, we beat them 2-1, and then they beat us at their gaff 3-2, but we were, 2-0 up after like 10 minutes or so. So yeah, I think it's going to be a really interesting one. Obviously, United have had a little bit more time to recover after the international break than we have, because we did play on Saturday evening in the FA Cup, which we won. I mean, wow, how am I going to forget about that? Incredible. I mean, look, we didn't play an enthralling game. It wasn't end to end. It wasn't goals galore. We did what we needed to do. We defended really, really well. Tried to hit them on the counter. Couldn't quite do it. Maybe we should have had a penalty. But then took it to extra time. Took it to penalties. And then that's 3 penalty wins on the spin in the Emirates FA Cup. I mean, that's just brilliant. There must be some sort of record there of how many FA Cup games you win on the spin on penalties. That's 3 in a row. Exeter, Ipswich, and then Brighton. We're other than Newcastle in the Carabao Cup earlier on the season, we've had an outstanding record for penalties. I could be wrong in saying this, but I think that Newcastle penalty shootout was the first one we've ever lost as a football club. So yeah. But back to Man United, they've had a couple of days extra to recover after the international break. So that'll be interesting to see how that affects things. But then also, I think Forest players have got match sharpness in their legs again. Those who didn't go and play international duty, which was quite a lot of our squad, to be honest. We were able to recuperate. Man United were able to recuperate a bit extra, but we had that match sharpness, which could play a bit more of a role. Who knows? We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, I'm feeling confident for this one. I am feeling confident for this one. Obviously, we've got a Villa at the weekend, so we're going to have to have a look at maybe, do we want to rest a few players? Do we want to go full strength for this one and rest at Villa Park? Or are we just going to go full strength in both? Hopefully we can do that. That's the preferable option, but we'll have to wait and see what Nuno is going to plan on doing. He did drop Hudson-Odoi and Elanga to the bench to start the game against Brighton, so I don't know if there's anything in that one, but again, they ended up playing extra time and penalties, so it didn't quite, they weren't only just playing half an hour, whatever. They played a lot longer than that, so interesting to sort of see what Nuno decides to do with the lineup for this one. Ideally, like I say, you want to go full strength. You want to go full strength in every game you play. But I really do see a chance of us going and getting a league double over Manchester United. I mean, since we've got promoted, we've beaten them twice, last season and this season, and then we lost every other time. So I think the opportunity to go a double over Man United. Okay, yes, look, they're not the Manchester United of old where they're winning the Premiership, they're winning the Champions League, they're dominating the division, and they're an absolute nightmare to play against. They're a side you can get at, and a lot of teams will probably go unbeaten against them or do a double against them. And we have a really strong opportunity of doing a double against them. We beat them at their ground, which is something that we haven't done in a long, long time, especially not in my lifetime. Before we got promoted, we never even played them in my lifetime, so that stat is not that impressive. but yeah, we were able to beat them at their gaff, and hopefully we can beat them at ours and make it 6 points from six against them. You know, the aside, I watched the last sort of half an hour or so against Sociedad when they played in the Europa League second leg, and they looked a lot like a team that knew what they were doing a bit more. They were working together in terms of Garnacho, Bruno, Rasmus, Xerxes. They were stringing things together, and I think is that something for us to think about? Who knows? They beat Leicester 3-0, which, okay, look, Leicester beating Leicester. We beat Leicester 3-1, I believe it was. That was ages ago now. A lot of teams are going to beat Leicester this campaign. But, are they going to have a bit of confidence? Who knows? Maybe the international break came at the wrong time for them because they were starting to get a little bit of momentum behind them, and then it was sort of cut short for an international break. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. They've got players in there who, on their day can play and can be a handful for opponents. I think Bruno, I'm not a huge fan of him too much of his like petulancy and stuff like that, but he you can't deny it, he's been really good for them of late. He's been one of their shining lights, Bruno Fernandes. So it'll be really interesting to sort of see how they play. Are they going to feel a bit more, we get the tails up a little bit? They think we beat Leicester, we beat Sociedad, we were unbeaten in 4. Can they make it 3 wins in a row and help that geezer to get closer to cut his hair off? I don't know. I don't know. Or I'll say cut his hair off, have an haircut. I don't know, but I feel confident. I back our boys. I back what we like to do. The way we like to play on the counter attack. Get Alanga, get not Chris Wood, sorry, Callum Hudson-Odoi running at them on the flanks. Get Gibbs White driving through the middle. I think we can cause some problems. I do, and look, I've addressed the fact Man United might be on a little bit of a decent run, but I still think we can go and beat them. Look at our side. Look at the way we play in this season, the way we defend, the way we can hit teams on the break. I think we've got to be confident for this one, and I am. I think we can do it. I think we can beat them. I think we can get the better of them, and I think we should be. If we're third and they're, what is it, like 13th? I think there's like 10 teams between us in the division if they are 13th. So yeah, look, I think we should be beating them, and I believe that we can. Sells, best goalkeeper in the world. I don't even care. I've crowned him it. Winning the Yashin Trophy, whenever it is, at the next Ballon d'Or ceremony. Honestly, that bloke is outstanding. He's literally, he's just incredible. That save from the David Gomez header next time was just wild. He hardly had anything to do, really, all game. And then he can pull out an unbelievable save like that and 2 penalty saves in the shootout. The bloke is a freak, and I love him. Our defence, Aina, Murillo, Milinkovic, and Williams. I'm hearing that Williams might be suspended for the semi-final alongside Yates, but I'm not entirely sure, so we'll keep our eye on that one. But look, our defence, incredibly solid. We've got the most, or joint most clean sheets in the Premier League, along with Liverpool. We've got 12. Insane. Midfield, you've got likes of Sangare who could come in. I don't think he will, but you've got Anderson, Dominguez, Yates, any of those, 2 of those 3 I think will play, and Dominguez did a really good job at home against Man United last season, so I don't know if Nuno will be thinking about that one, but yeah, look, solid midfield pairing, and then the 3 behind the striker that I've already talked about. Then up top, I expect it probably to be Taiwo for Tuesday. Nuno did say that Chris Wood is getting better, so we'll keep an eye on that one. But yeah, I think Nuno knows what he's doing. He knows the fitness and the level of our players, and if he does need to switch things, if he does need to play, somebody different, then look, he knows what he's doing, and I trust in Nuno. I trust in what he can do. Maybe even a 5 at the back might be put in play to match up Man United. I don't think that will happen, but you never know. But yeah, if we can get that midfield, they usually play with a midfield 2. The way they like to play is kind of I say midfield 2. It's more of like they play 5-2-3 effectively, but they play with 2 10s, and I'm sure that Bruno will kind of drop into the midfield. So, I was thinking when I was thinking their formation in my head that they'd have 2 centre mids, but they'll more likely have probably three. They'll end up going to like more of a 3-5-2 than a 5. What is it, a 5-2-3 situation? So yeah, that should sort that out a little bit. But I think we need to be strong in midfield as well, regardless of whether they've got 2 or 3. But yeah, I'm feeling confident for this one. Fitness could play a problem, but I do think we've got enough in the tank to beat Manchester United at home, which still blows my mind as someone who grew up in the 2000s and saw them as dominant as they were, to be able to say we can beat them and get 6 points from 6 against them is wild. But we can. We absolutely can. I'm going to go with 2-1 Forest for the scoreline. And hopefully we can get all 3 points and, be able to keep this outstanding, insane season going. It's just been unreal. Let us know in the comment section down below what you think will happen in the game. Your thoughts on the lineup and even the semi-final. Or the quarterfinal that has just gone. Whatever you want to say, put it in the comments, and I'm sure we'll have a look at those. So yeah, if you did enjoy it, smash the like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and you are new around here, and come on, you are